Hello everyone, it's Marla. Welcome back to Twinstrology. I wanted to come in and do a reading about current events, I guess you could say. The last reading I did, which was for Twin Flames, I spoke a little bit about how I was feeling like there was going to be some kind of public situation that was going to come about, that was going to act as a trigger. And after doing that reading, I just had such strong feelings that, it's like something is coming, something's brewing. I can feel the tension in the air. And so I woke up today and I decided to pull some cards around it. And I was guided to share the cards with you. So I'm going to start here. A lot of times how I read cards, guys, is I have a conversation through the cards. And so maybe I read a little bit different, or when I do readings online, it's a little bit different from other people. But that's just how I like to do things. So the first card I got was Unchanged. And the question oracle was, what is the best way to handle this person or situation? Okay, so what I'm getting from this is that there's something that is been unchanged. Someone is feeling like they're stuck, they're powerless, and they're not happy about it. The clarifier that I got for unchanged, when I asked what was unchanged or what is unchanging, I got baggage. Okay, so there's some kind of unresolved issue, and someone wants to take this to the next phase. Okay, they don't want to be in this unchanged state, or I think a better term to use here would be status quo. Someone is tired of the status quo, and they're thinking about how to handle this situation. So then what came up was Rider. And so with this card, I feel like someone is wanting to make a move. They want progress. They're tired of this unchanging energy. And so it's like they want to send a message about change. And the question oracle says, how can I make this a truly wonderful day? So in this person's mind, this is going to be something that makes them happy. But I think for the general population, it's going to be something negative. The clarifier for Rider, Pluto, the great revealer, or the Judgment card. Okay, so there's some kind of transformation. This is an awakening. So whatever is happening, whatever I feel like this event is going to be, it's an awakening. I feel like it's going to be centered on the United States. And one of the important things that's going on right now is the United States, it's having their Pluto return. And Pluto is in retrograde. And Pluto's getting ready to station, which means it's going to change from retrograde to direct. That's going to happen on the exact same degree. The United States' Pluto is on 27 degrees. Transiting Pluto's on 27 degrees. And this is the last time that Pluto is going to hit the U.S. Pluto directly. Now Pluto is going direct on the 10th, and the Sabian symbol that Pluto is on is a large aviary. So an aviary it's like a room where people have birds, and the birds can quote unquote fly free. Obviously they're not free because they're in a cage, but they're just in a really big cage rather than a small cage. And there can be a lot of birds in there. So what I'm getting about that is there's chatter. There's a lot of chatter, communication. And that is what I feel like in the energy. Like everyone's trying to find their voice and everyone's trying to share their perspective and their ideas. And it's like there's too much chatter. You can't even hear. You can't get clarity on what's going on because there's too much chatter. Now, in addition, the transiting nodes are squaring that Pluto conjunction. So I do feel like this is the month, October, November is when I feel the situation is going to come to a head, but I feel like it's building. So it's hard for me to pinpoint a particular time frame, but it's building now and it will reach some kind of crescendo. But Pluto in Judgment is also, it's change, it's purging, it's destruction. It's like destruction of the old. Pluto in Capricorn is like the plutocracy. So then we come to microphone. Okay, so there's news, broadcast, a current event, public speaking, being heard, speaking up, and the question oracle is, what is this person's thoughts about me? So someone wants everyone to know what their thoughts are, and they're gonna be speaking out about their thoughts. So someone wants to make their opinion known. They have very strong opinions, very strong ideas about what they feel has been the status quo and what they feel their limitations are. And this was clarified with kerosene. Aggressive, determined, provoke, unpredictable, ignite. Okay, so I feel like someone's angry. Like what they want to make known is like they're angry about something. The next card was Dynamite. Again, very similar to the kerosene energy. Passion, action, destroy, breakup, catalyst for change. Unexpected, sudden, fast. And this is like, what can I do to let go of the past with this person? So this is about something that happened in the past. Okay, whatever the person or persons are angry about, it has to do with the past, and they're very angry about it. They're very keyed up about it. This was clarified with winter. Also the crone, 9 to 12 months. With this card, I feel like there's a woman involved. That's what I'm getting. And I feel like this card is representing a woman. There's a woman that's a catalyst for this energy in some way. It might be an older woman. What my guide said is the woman is unknown right now. So either the identity of this woman is not ready to be known to any of us, or it's someone that is not a public figure as of yet. Now, another thing that's going on astrologically is Lilith is going to be conjunct Venus and opposing a conjunction of Saturn and Karma. Now, Venus will just be transiting through briefly at the beginning of October, but Lilith is going to be opposing Karma and Saturn the whole month of October. And Lilith is angry female energy. Although it doesn't have to be a female, but yeah, I am getting that a female is involved here, or maybe like a female is a catalyst. So maybe it's about a woman, or something happens to a woman. A woman is the messenger. It's the woman that has something to say that is igniting this energy. But I think that the Lilith Saturn energy goes along with this. Now, some of this is lies. Some of what is being spoken about is lies. Lies are part of what needs to be revealed. There's the problem though is you've got a lot of people saying a lot of different things. And so it's very hard to decide where are the lies, who's lying. When we're angry about something, we can't see truth that easily. Or let me put that another way. When we're angry about something, we don't give a shit about the truth. We give a shit about what we feel. And so one of the problems in our society today is there's so much anger being released, being cleared. There's so many different versions of the truth that it's very hard for people to see what is really true. Okay, but there's definitely something in this energy that wants to expose lies. So it's either like exposing truth, or the situation is leading everybody to have to face a truth that maybe none of us wanted to face, or to stand up and say, no, that's not true. But it may come down to like a divide between people. And I mean, this is kind of how it is, right? Because we're polarized. And so some people are like, no, this is true. And some people are like, that's not true. This is true. And it's like a blockage. So there has to be some kind of catalyst that helps people get on the same page with what is true. Now, of course, there's going to be little shades in there of untruths, but there is like also an ultimate truth, I feel. So the next card was Heart. And this was clarified with, what tools do I have in my toolbox that I haven't fully utilized, and how can I put them to use to create more abundance? Also clarified with Anamkara, which again is similar to Heart. It's unconditional love, uncommon bond, timeless, best friends, unchanging, infinite love. Okay, so what these cards are reminding us of is the tools that we have to fight anything is our heart. It's love energy. And it's seeing through the lies that are trying to separate people and coming back to, no, I'm not going to fall for those lies. Love is the answer. Because like I said, I feel like this is a conflict between people in some way. And Spirit is saying, don't get fooled. Don't get pulled in to the arguments and the idea of separation and the blame game. So a lot of this is like, is related to shame and guilt, painful things. Those things block us from seeing truth too. Then we have letter. Writing, communication, information, news, Is there anything about this person that I can't see or understand clearly? So what we're not seeing clearly is that there's a plan, there's news that we don't know about. Okay, this letter is sealed. So we don't know the contents of the letter. But at the eclipse, we're going to get an idea of what's in the contents. Okay, because what has been concealed is being revealed. There's some kind of event that reveals. It reveals in order to transform. And then Jack and Diane, broken heart. Heartbroken, sorrow, sadness, distress, hopelessness, crisis, hurt, bitter, emotional pain. And the question oracle says, what shared karma or past life is affecting this relationship or connection? Jack and Diane is clarified with the snake. Betrayal, deception, backstab, toxic, silent treatment. Something about silence is involved in this. Now it's interesting because I usually do love readings, and a lot of the messages that is coming through in love readings, not just in my readings, but what I'm seeing in other readers on YouTube, is there's a lot of talk about silence between like twin flames or soulmates being broken. But we have to look at that energy as a bigger picture as well, because we are part of a collective, we're part of a soul group, we're part of humanity. And the communication is really opening up on a broad scale. That's why like the lies versus truth, part of that is people are speaking out more. People have been putting on a false face about a lot of things, and people are going to be tired of wearing a mask. They're going to be tired of holding back their opinion, and they're going to want to say their truth. So where people have been silent, they don't want to be silent anymore. Okay, and this is based on something from the past, as we said. But there's grief around it. So, we have grief and we have Pluto and we have some other cards coming up that suggest that there could be an event either around someone dying or some death is caused. What I mean by that is it could be around someone that has already passed away, or it could be death that has not occurred yet. Again, I don't want to like scare people. That's not my intention. My intention is just to share what I'm getting. To be forewarned is forearmed. Because like I said, Spirit wants us to remember that the answer to this is love. Love and forgiveness is how we resolve problems. It's the only way to resolve problems in our society. We cannot keep just fighting amongst each other and arguing with each other and acting out in inappropriate ways. When I say that, I mean like acting out in violent ways. Acting out in ways that we want to hurt or get back at people. We want like revenge energy. That's not going to solve our problems. Love and forgiveness are what is going to solve the problem. So I want to share something that happened this morning as I was pulling these cards. It's kind of a long story. Bear with me a moment. So I'm going to see Stevie Nicks on Wednesday, and I was making a playlist of Stevie Nicks songs. So I looked up her set list for her concerts, and I was using that set list to make my playlist. So one of the songs on that playlist was called For What It's Worth. And I didn't recognize the title of that song. I just thought, oh, I don't know that song. I should put that in the playlist to make sure that I hear it for the concert. So I just added it and kept on adding songs. Then I put my playlist on and I was drawing these cards and I was looking at them and I, was getting downloads about it. And then I said, Spirit, please give me a sign about, what it is I'm feeling here. So that's when this song, For What It's Worth, came on. Only I didn't realize it because I started hearing the intro and I was like, hey, I know that song, but that's not a Stevie Nicks song. Because the song is originally recorded by Buffalo Springfield and it's written by Stephen Stills of Crosby, Stills and Nash. So I start listening to this song, and of course, once I start hearing it, I know this song. So I'm going to read you the lyrics. Something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there, telling me I've got to beware. It's time to stop. Children, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. There's battle lines being drawn. Nobody's right if everybody's wrong. Young people speaking their minds, getting so much resistance from behind. It's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. What a field day for the heat. 1,000 people in the street, singing songs and they're carrying signs. Mostly say hooray for our side, but it's time we stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Paranoia strikes deep. Into your life it will creep, but it starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, the men come and take you away. We better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. So the reason why I went into that long story is because Stevie Nicks' version ends differently than the Buffalo Springfield version, and that makes a big difference to the meaning of this song. So in the Buffalo Springfield song, we just get that chorus. You better stop. Hey, what's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. The sound here can be the microphone, by the way. So in Stevie's version, she says, so you better stop. You better watch. You better listen. You better stop. Children, what's that sound? What's that sound? What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down. Something's happening here. What it is ain't exactly clear. There's a man with a gun over there telling me I've got to beware. She redoes that first thing and then she says, I think it's time we stop. Nobody's right. Stop if everybody's wrong. Listen. Stop. And that's how she ends the song. So what's really important is that she's saying we need to stop. We need to stop this. Like I said, we can't just keep fighting amongst each other. And violence is not the answer to solving things. Nobody's right. Stop if everybody's wrong. Okay? Nobody can be right if they're trying to hurt people. Two wrongs don't make a right. The thing is, when it comes to the place we find ourselves in, it's a humanity issue. And we all hold a piece of it. We all hold a piece of the negative, and we all hold a piece of the positive. There's no one person, there's no one group that is responsible for everything bad. And there's no one person or only one group that's responsible for everything good. And the only way to get out of this mess is for everybody to take responsibility for their part, for their energy, for their thoughts, their feelings, what they're expressing. And that's not to say that we never air grievances, because we're never all going to agree on things. But we need to do it in a way where we can hear each other. Like right now, there's too many voices. We can't hear each other. It's why we have to stop and listen. Because I looked up the history of it. A lot of people think it's about Vietnam, but it's actually about a protest of young people in California that happened on November 12, 1966. And there was a curfew put in place, and they were demonstrating against this curfew. So there was a protest, and there was a confrontation between the police and protesters. So that could be giving us some insight into that situation. Also, the protest happened on November 12th, and I think it's November 14th. We have a Scorpio new moon, and that is going to be important. Like I said, it's not clear the exact date, so I feel like it's something that's going to span some time. And the eclipses will play an important role, but I also feel like the new moon in Scorpio will also play an important role. One of the other things I want to mention too that's happening astrologically is at the eclipse on October 14th, we have Mars conjunct the South Node and also conjunct an asteroid called Storm, and that's squaring the United States Mercury. And we have Chiron squaring the United States Sun and opposing the US's Saturn. And those could be trigger points. I think, a lot of people that talk about astrology of the US have talked about the US Pluto return, but for me personally, the most important trigger is, as I see it, in the United States chart, Saturn opposes Chiron. And we now have Chiron retrograde and making a final pass in opposition to Saturn, and that's going to be going on at the end of the year and into early next year. So I feel like that also is a catalyst for change. Saturn represents the status quo. It represents authority figures. This Jack and Diane card, Broken Heart, this has to do with power. Like people are reacting to some sort of display of power, or there's something that there's some type of foul play happening. And that's either someone wants to show their power, or they're trying to, it's a reaction of what they deem authority figures. But then there was another Stevie Nicks song that started playing on the playlist that I didn't know and I feel is relevant. And it was actually, the counter said 555 because I said this. I'm a soldier's angel through the eyes of a soldier. Through the eyes of a soldier, I'm a soldier's mother. Through the eyes of an angel, I'm a soldier myself. And no one walks away from this battle. I'm a soldier myself in the presence of angels. I'm a soldier's widow in the background at night. I'm a ghostly shadow as I follow close behind them. I try to push them gently back into the light. I'm a soldier's angel 4 years later in a war of words between worlds, about what is wrong, about what is righteous. I am a soldier's girl. I am a soldier's memory. I write down these words. I try to write their stories and explain them to the world. I float through the halls of the hospital. I'm a soldier's nurse, and I keep the tears inside, and I put them down in verse. I'm a soldier's angel 4 years later in a war of words between worlds, about what is wrong and about what is righteous. I'm a soldier's girl. I'm a soldier's girlfriend. As I look upon their faces, they make me remember my first love and going out to dances. They make me remember Camelot and being young and taking chances. They make me fall in love again. They give me all the answers. I'm a soldier's angel 4 years later in a war of words about what is wrong, about what is righteous. They are the soldiers in my heart. I try to make them smile again, though it tears me apart. Their bravery leaves me spellbound. I try to be a small part of bringing them back again. They are the soldiers of my heart. I'm a soldier's angel. Soldiers could be involved in this. Remember I said there's a woman involved, and it seems like a lot of this song is written from a woman's perspective. It talks about a war of words, okay, which is another theme that we've been talking about. What is right? What is righteous? It could be, again, this woman that's involved has to do with soldiers. It could be a woman soldier. So just something to keep in mind as this energy becomes more clear. So then these last cards just kind of fell out together. And the theme of them is, am I truly being open with this person, or am I creating subconscious barriers to this relationship? Okay, so they're telling us that we have subconscious barriers to unity. And these barriers have to be excised. They have to be expunged. They have to be brought to the open somehow. And so whatever happens, it's positive in the way that it's clearing out the wounds of the past. So the first card was Island. Foreign affairs, standoff, separation. So it could have to do with foreign affairs, of course. There's definitely a standoff, because this next card is about a standoff. People feel like there's a standoff, or there could be the actual event is some kind of standoff. If we look at these images of island, it has these pictures of islands. We also have this card, which has water. This rider card, I don't know if you can see it very well, but this horse is running on a beach and there's water there. So what I'm getting is that the location of this event is going to be someplace near the water. It's going to be on a coastline, and I feel it's probably going to happen in California. So there could be protests, for example, in California, because there could be some event that leads to protests. It could be a city on the coast, San Francisco or Los Angeles, for example. And there could be like an island off the coast. See here we have this island, this card is island, but California is what I'm feeling. Or something happens in California that is what causes people's anger. So yeah, then we had this card stalemate. So there's a standoff, there's holdouts, something is being blocked. People are refusing compromise. The energy here kind of is like, no, I don't want compromise anymore. Compromise is the only way forward for everybody. We have the coffin card. Death, defeated, breakup, ending, forgotten. Okay, so there could be someone has loss of life related to this. Death could be the trigger, like I've said earlier. Could be that someone has already died and they're the trigger, or there's an event where someone is killed and people are grieving over it. Now I have to just mention, because we have this card, I've been getting woman, I've been getting California. It could have something to do with the situation related to the death of Senator Feinstein from California. And that, I think, is going to be happening in the next couple of days. So interestingly enough, in August of 2019, I was meditating and I got the date October 3rd, but no year. So every year when October 3rd comes around, I'm like, okay, is this the October 3rd that Spirit was telling me about where something's gonna happen? And tomorrow is October 3rd. So who knows? Something could be a catalyst. Like I said, things are building, or this will build up. So it may not be a one-day event, but like a series of events and triggers. So then we also have this card constellation: network, support, associates, gathered, meeting, organization, arrangement, exchanging data. Well, on the immediate level, there could be a meeting of people. There could be an organization behind this. And there's something, again, there's a network, or I feel like this relates to microphone. Okay, so there's a network or organization that is going to be part of this. Now, in a bigger picture, this is saying that this whole event is being supported, like not to be scared, because it's part of the plan. It's part of what is meant to happen. Like it's something that's destined to occur. And then Mars, the Tower, self-asserted upheaval, aggression, anger, sudden change, action, aggression, chaos. Mars conjunct the South Node, conjunct Storm. So it feels like something is at its tipping point, right? It's like something has been like hanging on the edge, and then it's like tipped over. And there's anger, there's an angry response. I mentioned how Saturn is conjunct the asteroid Karma. That's on the first degree of Pisces. And the Sabian symbol there is a squirrel hiding from hunters. Caution, security systems, things or people that feel tiny, uncertain, insecure. Locks and keys. People picking on each other, being bullied out of what you deserve. Giving those out there more power than they warrant, not trusting life, paranoia, wanting to go out, not speaking up for fear of being shot down, threats of terrorism, having to lie about one's whereabouts, being caged in, claustrophobia. So to wrap it up, I feel there's a possibility of an event that can happen when people are angry and they want to share their perspective. They're tired of the status quo and they want change. Look for it to happen sometime between now and November, but it could possibly go into December. As I said, probably not going to be one event. There will be a woman involved, and California may be the likely location. So if you've been getting anything about this, leave me a comment down below and let me know what you've gotten. Sending you all a lot of love, and I'll speak to you again soon.